It sounds like you want to transform the provided script into a more engaging and captivating video script specifically for an audience over 60, while still retaining the original core message and adding calls to action for a channel named Mr. Senior Health. Asterisk, here's a new, more engaging script, following your instructions. Asterisk, unlock your hidden vitality. The truth about masturbation after. 60 video opens with Dr. Katherine Rocker looking directly into the camera, a thoughtful, empathetic expression on her face. Soft. Uplifting music plays in the background. Closing parenthesis, asterisk, Dr. Katherine Rocker. What if I told you that one of the most private and often unspoken habits of men over 60 could actually be draining your sexual energy, robbing you of confidence and even affecting your heart and mind? I'm talking about something nearly every man engages in, yet almost no one warns you about its hidden dangers. I've seen countless patients, vibrant men like you, struggle with weaker erections, fading sensitivity, and crushed self-esteem. And it all boils down to how they practice this habit. Asterisk, for over 20 years. I've specialized in senior men's sexual health. And believe me, this isn't about judgment. This is about empowerment. Masturbation isn't simply good or bad. Incorrectly, it can strain your circulation, disrupt your hormones, and even isolate you emotionally. But done right, it transforms into a powerful tool for vitality. The secret lies in technique, timing, and understanding your body's unique needs. Asterisk, in this video, I'm going to reveal 6 potential risks you've never been told about, how to transform this habit into a health enhancer. A revolutionary 7-second natural method to reclaim your firmness and drive. No pills. No prescriptions. Just safe, scientifically backed steps tailored for your age. Asterisk, before we dive in, type 1 in the comments if any of this resonates with you, or 0 if this is completely new information. We read every comment and respond personally. And remember to hit that subscribe button for honest senior health strategies from Mr. Senior Health. Now, let's uncover the very first risk. It targets your emotional well-being in a way you'd never suspect. Asterisk. The silent energy drain. Cortisol's hidden cost asterisk transition to a segment focusing on energy depletion, possibly with a subtle shift in lighting or background to reflect a more serious tone. Asterisk, Dr. Katherine Rocker. Let's talk about something no one seems willing to say out loud. There's a silent drain on your energy that's easy to miss, yet powerful enough to steal your spark, especially if you've relied on masturbation as a quick fix for stress or boredom. Many older men find themselves caught in a private cycle that saps their strength without them even realizing it. Asterisk, meet Robert, a 68-year-old retired engineer. After a life solving complex problems and enjoying simple pleasures like woodworking and daily walks, he began to feel an unusual heaviness. His sleep was steady, his medications hadn't changed, but a profound exhaustion followed him day after day. When he tried to return to his projects, he simply didn't have the strength. Robert told me, "Doctor, I don't know what's happening to me. I feel drained every morning like someone stole my batteries overnight. I'm too ashamed to talk about it." That hidden feeling of confusion and shame is far more common than you think. If you're feeling something similar, know that this is not a moral failing. It's a health issue that deserves respect and understanding. Asterisk, the reason behind. Robert's exhaustion ties into a biological truth most men never learn. When masturbation becomes frequent, your body can spike cortisol levels, a stress hormone. Cortisol puts your system on high alert, demanding more resources to calm down. Over time, your recovery slows, metabolism struggles, and what was once a harmless release begins to leave you feeling tired, weak, emotionally depleted. Asterisk, you deserve to live with power and confidence. Yet there's a quiet pattern that can rob you of both. When masturbation becomes too frequent, its subtle depletion of your energy doesn't just stop at making you tired. It can cause a slow decline with widespread consequences. Fatigue often makes you skip physical activity, and less movement weakens your muscles, shrinks your stamina, and gradually erodes your cardiovascular health and brain sharpness. Each little dip in your energy might feel harmless, but together they accumulate, leaving you vulnerable to infections, falls, and a loss of the independence you never saw coming. Asterisk, many men believe constant sexual release keeps them young, healthy, and vibrant. That belief is powerful, but it's not entirely true.
Oh.
The reality is that hormonal shifts and metabolic changes alter how your body processes sexual release. Instead of charging you up, frequent release can actually deplete your systems that rely on stability and health. Asterisk, there's a smarter way to approach this. The goal is moderation, about 2 to 3 times a week at most, so your body can recover. Allow yourself rest days between sessions and support your hormone balance by eating nutritious foods and staying hydrated. Your body endures the fatigue, but your brain faces an even deeper threat. Asterisk, the brain drain, dopamine dysregulation, and lost drive. Asterisk. Transition to a segment focusing on brain health, perhaps with a subtle change in visual style to emphasize mental processes. Asterisk, Dr. Katherine Rocker. Repeated self-stimulation after 60 can actually rewire your brain's reward circuits and leave you chasing relief rather than enjoying it. Now, we shift from exhausted muscles to a nervous system primed for increasing demands. You deserve a fulfilling sex life. But you also deserve to understand what dopamine dysregulation can do. Asterisk, dopamine. The brain's reward messenger functions differently in a mature brain. The receptors that process dopamine grow less responsive as the years pass, and that means you need more stimulation to feel the same spark you once had. The same habits that once satisfied you can start to feel dull, leading you to repeat them even more just to catch up to the initial satisfaction. Asterisk, Thomas. A 71-year-old retired high school principal lived with structure and clear routines his entire life, yet he described how masturbation stopped feeling pleasurable and turned into a daily need. In his words, it wasn't about pleasure anymore. It felt like I couldn't think clearly until I had done it. It scared me because I'd never felt out of control. Asterisk. This is where the real concern begins. When a private act crosses the line into a daily compulsion that steals your mental freedom, the behavior becomes less about desire and more about silencing a relentless craving, alienating you from your own intentions. Healthy sexual expression matters at any stage. But once those dopamine-driven urges dominate, your control begins to slip. A single release becomes a ritual, then multiplies each day, propelled by a reward system that demands more to achieve the same payoff. This slippery slope happens because your brain raises the threshold for what feels adequately rewarding. This neural adaptation locks you into a cycle that becomes harder and harder to break. Asterisk, when those reward circuits are constantly activated by frequent release, the consequences reach far beyond the bedroom. Your motivation for hobbies can slowly fade. The spark that once made reading, gardening, or fixing things feel rewarding becomes dull. Thoughts feel hazy, attention drifts, and a widespread feeling of emotional flatness emerges as if colors are slowly draining from your daily life. Even though your body still responds, the drive to connect with people often dwindles. You might find yourself pulling away from friendships, from family, from simple human connection. That's the hidden tragedy. The brain becomes trained to lock its craving onto one target. Sexual release, and all the other joys and rewards you once valued shrink into the background. This process creates what experts call neurochemical hijacking. That's when your reward system starts serving a narrow craving at the expense of all other forms of gratification. Instead of building a rich, diverse sense of pleasure through connection, friendship, or creativity, it funnels all motivation towards a single, repetitive act. The cost is high. The world of pleasure around you shrinks until you feel as if release is the only spark left. Asterisk, but there is hope. Your brain has an incredible power called neuroplasticity. It can rebuild healthier reward pathways, regardless of your age. Slowing down the pattern can help you regain balance. Try spacing out sessions so that at least a day passes between them. Move your body by walking or light workouts because exercise increases dopamine in a more stable way. Reconnect with a forgotten hobby. Pick up a neglected book or call someone you trust. If you take these steps, You allow your brain to relearn a richer reward pattern, one that celebrates connection, purpose, and creativity. Asterisk, meaningful intimacy is far more than just a lone climax. It includes sharing thoughts, enjoying affectionate touch, and building bonds. When you allow masturbation to stand alone as your sole source of comfort, you risk suffocating deeper human experiences. These shifts may seem invisible, but they carry immense weight. The hidden heart strain, a silent threat transitioned to a segment focusing on cardiovascular health, potentially with a visual of a heart rate monitor or a doctor's examination room. Asterisk, Dr. Katherine Rocker. Now that we've exposed the hidden changes in your brain, let's move to a threat you cannot afford to ignore. Your heart is suddenly under strain. Even a seasoned cardiologist might miss this link between private self-stimulation and dangerous cardiovascular spikes. Asterisk, Frank had spent decades managing his high blood pressure with disciplined routines. He followed his doctor's guidelines, took his medications on time, and even watched his salt and sugar. At 72, he felt confident about his health. But then, abruptly, he started experiencing sudden chest tightness, pounding heartbeats, and dizzy spells. It didn't seem to fit any pattern, leaving both Frank and his cardiologist scratching their heads. His wife, worried but observant, quietly tracked when these events occurred. She noticed a link Frank felt too ashamed to admit. The frightening heart symptoms appeared immediately after his private sexual release. Asterisk, sexual excitement and orgasm place a distinct strain on your cardiovascular system. Heart rate and blood pressure surge abruptly for a few intense moments, creating a spike that even a regular medication routine might not adequately cushion. For men over 60 living with hypertension, diabetes, or any history of heart disease, those brief surges can push a vulnerable heart beyond its safe limits. Asterisk, Frank assumed his heart was strong enough because he remained active and kept his numbers controlled. But sexual activity isn't like a brisk walk or routine chores during climax. The heart can jump 30 to 50 beats per minute with blood pressure climbing sharply in a matter of seconds. A younger heart can withstand those spikes, but an aging, repaired or hardened cardiovascular system can struggle. Think of it like an older car. You can safely drive it down a smooth highway, but sudden, powerful acceleration can expose hidden engine weaknesses. The heart works in a similar way. Normal daily exertion feels fine, but rapid increases in arousal, even in a solitary moment, can create dangerous strain. Unlike exercise, which builds gradually and gives the heart time to prepare, masturbation tends to hit the system all at once. The privacy, the secrecy, and the sexual tension can combine into a powerful, unpredictable burden on your heart. With no pacing or warm-up, the cardiovascular system gets no warning. And that's where the real risk begins. Asterisk, these hidden risks are also often buried until something goes wrong. I can tell you as a doctor, we want to help you manage these issues earlier, rather than after a cardiac emergency lands you in the hospital. Moderating how often you engage in sexual activity, keeping the intensity reasonable, and being open with your doctor are simple steps that can save your life and protect your ability to enjoy sexual health for years to come. Asterisk. There's no reason to feel embarrassed discussing masturbation or sex with your doctor. These topics are a normal part of your health profile, especially after 60. If you ever feel chest discomfort, sense your heart beating irregularly, notice dizziness, or struggle to breathe during or after sexual activity, take it seriously. Those symptoms can signal a heart issue that needs immediate checking, no later. A brief conversation with your doctor can protect you from a life-threatening event and help you enjoy safe, satisfying, and intimate life with confidence. Your sexual health and your heart health are intertwined. They deserve the same respectful attention as any other part of your well-being. Asterisk. The cognitive cloud. When focus fades, asterisks transition to a segment focusing on cognitive and emotional health. Perhaps with a visual metaphor of a cloudy mind clearing. Up. Asterisk, Dr. Katherine Rocker. And while we've covered serious cardiac concerns here, stay with me because the next section explores an equally critical issue. Over-reliance on masturbation as a way to manage stress or loneliness can silently erode your mental clarity, your emotional balance, and even the sharp thinking you've built over decades. Asterisk, let me share the story of David. 69, and a trusted accountant for years. His mind was his greatest asset. But recently, his family noticed he was distracted, unfocused, and detached from the people who mattered most. David described it best himself. I found myself unable to focus on anything else. My thoughts would just loop back and I couldn't concentrate on conversations with my grandkids or even finish reading the newspaper. That wasn't a simple slip. It's what happens when sexual release takes over as your primary coping mechanism. It can start small after retirement, health issues, or the loss of friends. But gradually it becomes a substitute for processing emotions. Asterisk, older men often navigate major transitions all at once. Steps in as the easiest comfort. Your mind can get stuck in a repetitive loop instead of developing healthier ways to cope. Each time you achieve sexual release, your brain rewards you with a hit of dopamine and endorphins that temporarily boost your mood. But when you depend on that rush repeatedly, your brain loses its flexibility, creating a mental fog and a rigid thinking pattern that chips away at clear focus. Asterisk, pay attention to these warning signs. You might notice difficulty concentrating on basic tasks, using masturbation to push problems away, or feeling irritable and anxious if you can't get that sexual release. Some men even begin to neglect relationships, hobbies, or daily responsibilities. You might also experience short-term memory slips or a foggy head after the act. Asterisk, it's crucial to protect your mental clarity and emotional balance. There's so much more available to you than an endless loop of release and regret. You can build a stronger foundation with simple, powerful tools. Try mindfulness practices to reconnect with your breath. Step outside for a daily walk or explore. Tai Chi to ease stress and fatigue. Channel your energy into painting, playing music, or even journaling. Meet new people, volunteer, or join a local club to rebuild your sense of belonging. And if you feel stuck, talk to a professional counselor who can help you process grief, retirement changes, or other heavy emotions. These habits can break the cycle of relying solely on sexual pleasure to soothe discomfort. They create space for more flexible, healthier ways to process stress and frustration. Emotional growth happens when you allow yourself to sit with difficult feelings instead of constantly running from them. Sexual pleasure is still yours to enjoy, but it deserves to be only one part of a wider, richer emotional life. It's not your sole refuge to turn to. Asterisk, the confidence drain. Erectile quality and self-perception. Asterisk, transition to a segment focusing on erectile health and self-confidence, possibly with a subtle shift to a more intimate and understanding tone. Asterisk, Dr. Katherine Rocker. While cognitive impacts can creep up over time, the next concern reveals itself much more quickly. It affects how you see yourself in the mirror and how you carry confidence through each day. Asterisk, what happens downstairs can fundamentally change how you live every single day. Men often expect mild shifts in their intimate capabilities as they move through life stages. But what I'm about to tell you goes far beyond normal wear and tear. The hidden truth is that repeated intense self-stimulation can literally train your brain to demand a specific pattern of pleasure. And when that pattern shifts, like when you try to connect with a new partner, your erections might not quite cooperate. Asterisk, Michael, 66, knew this frustration all too well. After a long marriage ended, he wanted to rediscover intimacy, to feel alive again. But despite being deeply aroused, he found his erections were weaker, faded faster, and left him anxious he might fail in front of someone new. That kind of chip away frustrates a man's confidence and makes dating feel like stepping onto a battlefield without armor. Asterisk, let's be clear. This issue isn't simply a dip in testosterone or sluggish blood flow. Of course, those play a role. But the real trouble lies in your brain. By constantly stimulating yourself in a predictable way, you hardwire the urge to follow that specific path. When the context or rhythm changes, as in real-world intimacy, the brain struggles to shift gears. Think of it this way. Over time, your repetitive habit carves a deep groove in your nervous system. Every solo session of release makes that groove deeper. So, when you want intimacy with another person, your arousal gets stuck in the old pattern and refuses to travel a different path. That's what doctors call weakened erection quality, the hardness that fades, the erections that need stronger or very specific stimuli to hold firm, and the sense of disconnect that hits you right in the gut during partner sex. Many men report they perform fine alone, but the moment a partner enters the picture, everything collapses. That mismatch feels humiliating and over time drains the desire for intimacy altogether. Asterisk, but the truth is, you're not broken. You're not failing. These changes are simply your brain adapting to repetition. And the good news is, your arousal pathways are incredibly resilient. You can gradually retrain your sexual response. You can escape the trap. Asterisk. Let's go through a clear step-by-step action plan you can practice starting today. First, give yourself a 7 to 14-day break from all sexual activity, including masturbation. Think of this as a reset for your body's natural sexual wiring. That pause allows your nerves and brain circuits to regain sensitivity and respond afresh. More diverse stimulation. Asterisk, when you return to sexual activity, change up the routine. Use a lighter touch, explore different angles, and vary your pace. Breaking those old repetitive patterns helps retrain your mind and body to respond more flexibly, the way it does with a real partner. Asterisk next. Slow things down with mindfulness. Pay attention to every sensation in your body. Allow the experience to unfold rather than racing towards climax. If you just chase fantasy or rush, you continue reinforcing those narrow patterns that have worn down your arousal pathways. Asterisk then. Start to include partner-like elements in your self-stimulation. You can use sounds, movements, or textures that simulate shared intimacy.
Ow.
These small changes help reconnect your arousal with a realistic and fulfilling sexual style. Asterisk finally. Shift your focus. Instead of concentrating all attention on orgasm, emphasize the pleasure of the entire experience, from arousal to connection to the feeling of presence. Your sexual system can regain its full range of sensation and function when you allow yourself to enjoy the whole journey, not just the destination. Asterisk now. Let's highlight something important. The male body, even in the later decades of life, can adapt with beautiful resilience. Feeling stuck or broken is often just a pattern that can be gently and patiently reshaped. Patience, compassion, and openness to trying new approaches, and the belief that sexuality can absolutely improve with some thoughtful adjustments. These are the keys. Many of my patients who have followed this approach have seen powerful changes: firmer, more reliable erections, new levels of self-confidence, and a deeper sense of intimacy with their partners. These experiences remind us that the body and mind can be reawakened, no matter how long they've been in the grip of a habit. Asterisk the subtle erosion. Time's unseen impact. Asterisk transition to a more reflective tone, perhaps with a visual of an eroding landscape or a clock to emphasize the gradual nature of the changes. Closing parenthesis, asterisk, Dr. Katherine Rocker. This is one reason why this issue slides under the radar. It creeps up over time. Weak erection quality linked to repetitive solo stimulation doesn't burst into your life overnight. It slowly inches forward until you suddenly feel distant from real connection or notice anxiety in the bedroom. Think of this like reinforcing a bridge. It might need some repairs, a little attention, and the right strategy, but when restored, it can carry you with greater strength and confidence into satisfying, connected intimacy. Masturbation after 60 doesn't carry a good or bad label. It is simply a tool that depends on how you choose to use it. That choice can reinforce your confidence or deplete your sense of aliveness over time. It deserves careful thought and awareness because your health and happiness still deserve protection. This season of life isn't about giving up pleasure or cutting out what you enjoy. It's about handling things more intentionally, more carefully, and with more wisdom than ever before. You have an opportunity to shape a new chapter with greater satisfaction and deeper meaning. Your body still responds. Your desires still carry value. These aren't remnants of your youth. They are vibrant parts of you right now. A few small shifts in your routine can transform private moments from something that weighs you down into something that genuinely lifts you up. With a little focus, masturbation can become a source of energy and well-being rather than regret or frustration. Asterisk, if this conversation has touched your heart, stay with me. I will be sharing a simple, natural approach in an upcoming video that has helped countless men regain a sense of power, purpose, and sexual vitality. You might even feel a positive shift as early as tomorrow morning. Let's talk about it. Asterisk, Doctor. Katherine Rocker looks directly at the camera, a warm, encouraging smile on her face. Asterisk, Dr. Katherine Rocker. Thank you for joining me today. Your health matters, and I'm here to support you. Don't forget to comment below. Your experiences help others. And for more honest, empowering health strategies for men over 60, make sure you subscribe to Mr. Senior Health. I look forward to connecting with you there.